You're listening to Bold Hearts, Big Moves, the show for female entrepreneurs who want it all: a thriving business, deep self love, and fulfilling relationships. I'm Erin Anderson, and each week we will dive into how to set stronger boundaries, make empowered choices, and show up in life and business with boldness, authenticity, and heart. Because let's be real, the money you make is directly related to the love that you have for yourself and the strength of your relationships. So if you're ready to lead with love and make those big moves with those bold hearts, let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bold Hearts, Big Moves. So I'm really excited you guys are here today because we are talking about charging people in your business. And the reason why is because I think that this is a major thing that a lot of female entrepreneurs, I think even especially, get really hung up on. And it doesn't matter what type of a business you're in. You can be in uh, the business of coaching. You can be in a clothing business. You can be in a retail business, like so many different types of businesses. And I constantly hear this, but I feel bad for charging people, right? And, you know, I get it. Like as a coach and as a female entrepreneur, we love to be super, super giving and super, super generous. And we love seeing people light up and changing lives. And really, honestly, money is, or we like to say that money is no object. But is that the truth, or are we virtue signaling? And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but to be honest with you, I'm not saying anything that I myself have not taken myself through, because I totally remember being in that place. When I first started my coaching business, 12, now almost 13 years ago, the whole idea of charging people for something that God had given me was terrifying, right? Because I didn't like, I was sitting there saying, well, I don't want to offend God. I don't want to I don't want to love money more than my heavenly Father. And so to be humble, I must be poor. And that's literally what was happening in my subconscious. And you might even not necessarily be poor like I was back then, but like you might even be thinking to yourself, well, it's my soul offering, right? Well, I think Heavenly Father wanted you to keep your soul intact with you, because I think your soul is something that is so very, very valuable that is supposed to be offered only to you and God. That is it. Okay? So when we say soul offerings, when we say it's the offering of our heart, when we say these things, I say it's virtue signaling because we want to look like the good guy. We want to look like the very generous guy. But the thing is that also puts us out of integrity with ourselves and our clients, to be honest. So let me explain that. Number one, people want to earn money because they want to pay for things. If you would not tell your clients to do something that you yourself are not willing to do, then you're out of alignment and integrity with your life, your business, and your clients. With yourself, your business, and your clients, I really should say. Okay. If you're not willing to ask your coach to, or really anywhere, If you're not willing to walk into a restaurant and expect your services to be free because the owner just wants to do it out of the goodness of his heart, well, there's that. If your car breaks down and you have a mechanic that gets it up and running, are you going to ask him or her to fix it for free? You might be sitting here thinking to yourself, well, that sounds fabulous, but no, I would not expect that, right? Well, and here's the thing too. You want to honor the fact that these people still have a living to make, right? There still must be a value exchange. So, if they have a life that they have to pay for, because not everybody's asking them, or they're not expecting everybody in their life to give them free service, right? Like our power bill, that's not free. Our homes aren't free. Life isn't free. We might get a few free things here and there, and that's great and that's fine. But in reality, it's only a few free things that create value, and we put our money where our value is. If you are asking your clients to not value your intellectual property and your time that you are spending with them, then you're also asking them to devalue what you can do for them. And that doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're running. It's really, really important that you set a standard or a money boundary. And we talked about this last week, for yourself and your clients, so that way value is exchanged. And if that value means, guess what? I get to live a comfortable life, that's fine too. In the scriptures, whenever people prosper, it's not because they're expecting free things. It's because they are focused on creating relationships. They're focused on creating value for people. They're focused on helping people solve problems and create solutions for other people. And there's a value basis there. That is why we have money in the first place. And when you create high value for people, you tend to get high value back. Unless, and this is why it's virtue signaling, unless if you're not sure what you have to offer is of high value. Unless if you're not sure with what your people are getting, there's a high value exchange. Unless if you're not sure your people that you're serving are going to be happy with their product, then there could be a value problem there too. It's basically whenever you're saying, I'm just going to make this super, super cheap and super, super affordable, quote unquote. Let me tell you, I've offered uh coaching and products before, and I've been there. But I've offered things for $1 before and had people even complain about me charging $1 for the services that I was creating. Your clients that you want to draw into your life and into your business are not people that are going to expect free service. People who are entitled are not fun to work with. And so you don't want to create this entitlement around your intellectual property. And God doesn't want that for you either. God himself is a lover of high wealth. Everything in this world, including everything that we gain and receive, is his. That means he himself is a very wealthy person. If we are to emulate him in any way in this life, well, then it's okay to accept and receive wealth for the value that we put out into the universe, just the same way he does. He also really wants to provide well for his children. What kind of a father doesn't love providing for his children, making sure that they have ample desires provided for, as well as their needs taken care of? A loving father makes sure that those things are taken care of. And he uses his provisions and his ability to create value in the world to do so. If Heavenly Father is a perfect father, I guarantee he's got that piece mastered. Therefore, um, he gives you gifts and talents so that way you too can go out and, like him, create value in the universe so you can receive value back. The whole idea of having a healthy business and healthy clients, it's not just you that benefits from the money you get. Your clients also benefit from the money they give. Money is a give and receive type of an energy. And your clients love feeling like they have integrity. They love feeling like they can get out and create the things that they want. They love feeling like they are gaining something. And if what you have to offer is something that they truly, truly want, then they put value behind that and there's a value exchange. It helps them feel good about themselves and like they can make good decisions, which is something you totally want for your clients. Even if you're not doing a coaching business, even if you're doing a brick and mortar type of a business, even if you're a teacher, for crying out loud, you're still an entrepreneur, right? When your clients, your students, you like your people that come to you for your service are exchanging value with you, they love and they feel like they're gaining that value. They love coming back. I'll give you an example of this. So, one of my I have a person that is in my town and he sells cars. And he is a car salesman that I will completely consistently go to, and I am happy to pay the money for the service that he provides me. He keeps my cars not just running, but running well. He is incredibly thorough. He also is very good at listening to what my needs are when it comes to purchasing a car from him. And so he goes out and makes sure he finds the exact car for the exact right price. He doesn't overcharge, he doesn't undercharge. I am happy to keep coming to him over and over and over and over and over again, as are many of the people in this community. But the cool thing is he provides me with a well-running, reliable car. And there's even been times where some of that money has come back to me from him because I am honest in my dealings with him. When there's honesty behind the value, money is reciprocated all the time throughout those relationships. Because wherever there is deep trust, there is a money flow. So if you guys are struggling with charging your clients, take yourself out of the picture. This is a self-judgment thing, and I definitely want you to consider what it is you are giving your people. Are you giving them high value? If the answer is yes, charge what lights you up. That's something that Kushla also talks about, right? What is a number that gets you excited, not into judgment, but just excitement? What would make you feel good? Is your product worth that? Go ahead and charge it. And I promise you, the people will come and buy that exact product simply because they value what it is you've created for them. So here's something that I want you guys to do. If this is something you are struggling with and feeling guilty about, number one, I want you to ask yourself who's really doing the talking right now. Okay. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we learn certain things about our money story that aren't necessarily true from other people, but because they've come from influential people in our lives, because people just aren't perfect, especially when it comes to money, right? Um, Sometimes it's not even you doing the talking. You just think that you have to live within a certain timeline, a certain box, in a sense, in order to stay proper. It's not a boundary if you're saying that you're a female entrepreneur, but you feel super guilty for charging, right? That's not a boundary. Again, it's virtue signaling, right? But if you say, no, this is my money boundary, like this is how much I'm charging, I'm going to help people think about ways they can create it. Well, then all of a sudden, not only are you helping them step up and create something that they want, because honestly, who out there doesn't want advice on how to create more money, right? You're helping them understand ways that they can create more for themselves, as well as you're helping them to get in on a program or get more information too that they need in whatever it is that you're helping them do. Same thing with if you're in some type of a brick and mortar type of a business, right? If somebody needs to pay for something and they're struggling to do so, or they don't know if they can, but they really, really do want the service that you're offering, ask them, you know, I totally get money issues. I've been there, I've done that, like whatever. Um, what are some things that you can do to create that? Like, what are some of the things that can help? Like, can I help you brainstorm? Right? We don't want people to stay stuck in a money energy, but they will if you do. That's the point. So you really need to find out who it is that's doing the talking in your head, who taught you that to be a good person means that you don't charge for the gifts that you bring to the world, the talents you bring to the world, or the intellectual property or the services you bring to the world. Who told you that because you make the world a better place, you have to do it for free? You are, in a sense, expecting people to stay poor when you do so. For me personally, that's not something I want people to be in. I want people to prosper. And having them pay me and even charge for their services towards me, right? That is prosperity. The second thing I want you to do is run yourself through the truth and lies question. Now, in the other side of the struggle, there is a podcast about truth and lies and how to tell the difference, okay? But I'm just going to kind of briefly hit on this a little bit. Um, so you know something is true if it leads to a logical conclusion, right? If you can actually have some sort of tangible evidence behind it. So, for an example, somebody might say that my faith in God makes me a Looney Tune, right? That there's no evidence of God. But I actually say there's no evidence that he's not there. As a matter of fact, I know he's there because any time that I have given myself up to his higher love and power, I've opened up miracles and blessings and so much more of what it is that I want in my life. No, he's absolutely there. And if that's the case, tell me where we came from and where we're going, right? to me, it makes more sense that, if there's a beginning and an end, there's also an eternal perspective. There's more to it than just this life, right? And if there's not more to it than just this life, then what is the point of this life? For me, it makes way more logical sense that there is a God. So I believe in God. He is my mentor. He is the person I go to when I have questions. He helps me become a better person and helps me step more fully into who I truly am. I am grateful for that. Very, very grateful for that. So I run a lot of things that come through me through the perspective of, is this what God wants for me? Because I believe in him so very fully. The fact that there's a God is a deep-seated truth, and that he's also very invested, not just interested, but invested emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually in the things that I do, because he's so excited to see me succeed that he totally wants a piece in the action. So I believe that. I believe that fully. Why would a God like that want me to give everything for free? He wants me to do some things for free, but not everything, because he also knows that I have children to provide for. I have a life to provide for. I have a home to provide for. I have charities that I work with. I have money flows to me and from me, right? Because it flows from me, it also flows to me. That's actually the case. And so if you're sitting here saying, it always goes everywhere and I never get to keep any of it, what's ending up happening is it's actually not flowing from you as good as it can. Now, I'm not saying go out and spend everything that you ever have and just think that more's coming to you. No, you've got to get organized around your money. Remember, that's a money boundary, right? But it does mean that you're far more intentional with where your money is going, because your money is showing what you value. And when you're putting your money where on the things you value, because like I value my home, I value having a reliable car, I value having internet, I value having electricity, I value having running water. These are all things that I pay for because I value them. I value having my kids in dance. I value this. I value that. My money goes to what I desire and what I value. And when I see things that way, more comes to me because I'm getting excited about what I'm creating. We don't create things that we're not excited about or we're not having some type of emotional connection to, at least, right? So we want to be very careful about where we're spending our emotional energy. So that's why number two is making sure that you're checking in with the truth and the lies and making sure that you're putting your value behind what you believe is true and what your desires are there. Okay. The third thing I'm going to tell you to do is, if you're struggling to charge money, ask, what does my client get? Like, remove yourself out of the situation, remove yourself out of the picture. It's obvious what you benefit, right? But if you're feeling guilty about benefiting financially from the service and the value you're providing, you need to ask, what does my client actually get from paying me? How does it benefit them? Some of the ways that I've answered that question is, number one, if they're paying me and I'm helping them with their relationships and their time, their money, like all these boundaries, because it is essential to have good boundaries in order to create money. Women and men that have really, really good boundaries also have a good money, like they just have good money. They really do. Okay. Um, and so When I'm helping them create boundaries, I'm helping them also create more than what they invested with me in the first place. That's the truth. So they reinvest. I'm helping them be more intentional with their money. That's going to help. I'm helping them be more intentional in their relationships. That's going to help them. And so, really, they are paying for a better life. They also feel good about making sure that they're able to pay for my services. They do value what I have, my time and my mind, and what I can give them. I can give them a whole new, fresh perspective on what they need to change in their lives. A lot of times we get stuck up on money because our perception around it isn't exactly in alignment with receiving more. And I don't know a single person out there that doesn't want to receive more. So if they're paying me, they're getting a whole new, fresh perspective about how they can actually receive more. They go out and take action on that, and then they receive more. They're benefiting like majorly. And on top of that, when I charge my clients, I am giving them the opportunity to take their first steps in action on what they can do better in their lives. Like I'm giving them the opportunity to really get in and create some amazing, beautiful uh things, like beautiful results, I should say. The results that they have been craving, that they've been wanting, and they want things done as quickly as possible. I'm giving them that opportunity to take their first steps towards that thing that they want, right? Because if they say they want it and they want it bad enough, they're willing to put some skin in the game to make sure it happens. You can't say that you want to lose weight when you're not willing to change the way you behave around your body. You're not willing to change your nutritional aspects, your exercise routine. You're not willing to change. It doesn't happen. The same way, if you're wanting to say you want to receive more money, like your mindset, your energy, all of these things have to shift. And it means that you first and foremost have to put some skin in the game. Maybe you have to, like with losing weight, maybe you have to buy a gym membership. Maybe you are going to need to purchase different foods. Like whatever it is, you put some skin in the game. You put some money behind it because you know, without a doubt, the first steps to change and getting the results you want in your life is by investing in what you say you want, right? That's what business is. And another example here, going back to my friend that sells cars to me, right? If I'm like I don't want to wait several years before I have a car again. That's going to be mightily inconvenient, especially where I live. It's a very little rural area. I usually have to drive easily anywhere from 25 to 40 minutes or more to get to a store, to get groceries. And can you imagine? And that's usually at least going 65 miles an hour one way or the other. Can you imagine having to walk that? I would get nothing else done except for the groceries, and I'd have to bring a wheelbarrow with me, right? And so wheelbarrow one way, wheelbarrow the other way, I would be spending my entire day going grocery shopping. Legit. It doesn't make sense for me to put off getting my car fixed if it breaks down or replacing it if it's no longer able to keep going. I have to put some skin in the game. So, wherever we're at, whatever it is we desire, the first thing we do is we put some skin in the game. Yes, there are free things out there. This podcast is a free resource, right? To give some really deep and profound wisdom so that way you can take your next steps. But even then, it's still a money exchange. Even though you're not necessarily putting money in to it, it still is a value exchange. $0 is still a dollar amount, right? And of course, like, I want to see you create more dialed in, intentional to your life results. The problem with getting only free resources is free is very general. It creates more, like, it's created for a mass audience. But for the most part, people want very detailed results to themselves, their lives, and their business. Yes, some general things are going to work, but sometimes we need something that's a little bit more custom, right? For an example, I need something more custom to my family when I'm driving. I could go get a free car. It may or may not run. But for me, I need something that can also fit my entire family as I have a big family. So we want to get something more customized to our specific needs. We pay for that. Okay? So I just want to bring some of these things to you. Okay, my loves, if you have any questions, if you would like me to mention anything on this show, or if you have a specific boundary question, feel free to message, just text the show. They do come to me. I'm able to see them, and I'll make a whole episode over the questions. I'll make an episode maybe even just about one particular question because I feel like it's so good to dive deep into. And also pay attention because I have a brand new webinar coming out. If you want to understand how boundaries can create more time, money, client success, and love for you, which is something almost every female entrepreneur wants, then be paying attention. I will be sharing very soon when that webinar is up and ready. So that way you can come and get a little bit more free education as well. So stay tuned for that. And until then, I'll see you guys next week. Bye, my boundary boss babes.
All right, Boundary Boss babes. I'm super excited that you tuned in with me today. Make sure you tune in again next week as we chat about more Boundary Boss babe topics. We're going to get into so many other things about how to set boundaries with your business, how to set boundaries with your relationships, so you can truly have the time, the money, and the flexibility that you are seeking. So tune in next week. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Let your other boss babe friends know about it. And also, if you've got any questions, make sure you submit them into the podcast by clicking on the send us a text message at the bottom of the podcast description. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. See you later, boss babes.